Hello everyone. As a part of our additional constructions in this video, we are going to construct a two-seater. Let's look at the steps to construct a two-seater. Step 1. Take a C-plate and attach a flat rotator with 1.5-inch bolt and nut. Just see it is attached in a slanted fashion because we don't want this hole at the end. We want it slightly away from the end. Similarly, second C plate also we do the same thing. Observe the alignments. Let's go to the next step. In this step, we take two L plates and we create two holes using a flat rotator each. If you see here, the flat rotator is connected using one nut and bolt that creates one circular hole in this vertical slit here. Here again we have connected the flat rotator using one nut bolt and it creates the circular hole here at the center. Now we have attached one rectangular plate to these two L plates using 2.5-inch bolt and nuts. Let's move on to the next step. Now the assembly which we created in step 2 is connected with the C plates which we created in step 1 using a flat connector and L connector here and two nut bolts. This side similarly a flat connector, L connector and two nut bolts. This side at front also one flat connector, one L connector and two nut bolts, and this side also one flat connector, one L connector and two nuts and bolts. So we have these four L connectors here which we are going to use in our next step. Here we have attached a square plate to those two L connectors using one nut and bolt, and we have also connected one more L connector to this square plate here. Exactly in the same way we have attached one more square plate to the two L connectors we had in the front here using one nut bolt, and also connected one more L connector here using a nut bolt. We'll go to the next step. Here we are creating two assemblies using single bar. A single bar, and at one end we have connected one L connector and a flat connector. Okay, similarly to this single bar also we have connected one L connector, and to that L connector we have connected a flat connector. Now if you remember, we had this extra L connector connected to the square plate. There we have attached one square plate here, one here using one nut bolt. That creates two seats. Let's move on to the next step. In this step we connect a DC motor with motor shaft and we put one spacer onto the motor shaft. Observe the place where the motor shaft is coming out and the place where the motor screws are attached. We have also put one big axle through the holes we created in these C plates. So this axle is going through this hole and coming out of the other hole on other C plate. So this C plate and the other C plate. And on each side we have put one spacer on that axle. We have also connected the assemblies, single bar assemblies to these L plates using two nut and bolts. So one here and one on other side. In our robot, they act as handle of the two-seater vehicle. Let's move on to the next step. We mount gear B onto the motor shaft and put it in place using a shaft lock. We also mount gear M, medium gear, onto the axle which we had inserted in our last step. Let's move on to the next step. In this step, we connect the wheels. One wheel onto the rear axle, both sides, and then secured with a shaft lock. In front, a wheel in between these L plates using one medium axle. So medium axle passes through this hole on this L plate. We put 3 spacers and then flat side of the wheel, and the other side of the wheel which has a protruding face, we put 2 more spacers, and then the axle pass through the hole in the other L plate. So on one side of the wheel we have 2 spacers, on the other side of the wheel we have 3 spacers. 3 spacers on the flat surface side and 2 spacers onto the protruding surface side, and those are in between these L plates. And this axle is secured on the outside using a shaft lock each, on this side one and on the other side one. So that will ensure that this wheel rotates freely because we have passed it through the circular hole. And that completes our two-seater vehicle. Try this and leave your comments in the comment section. And don't forget to watch the next video.